All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming with a power punch. This is for individuals who have a spiritual backpack and they have some sort of light in their right hand. This is for you. This message is for you. Many of you all would come onto this page knowing you don't belong on the page. Okay, but yet you come on. And the reason why I say you don't belong is because this page is for those who are spirit and truth, those who hold the light in their right hand. It's not for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of those individuals that's going to be going to and fro, seeking knowledge. Because knowledge is not the door to the kingdom. Mhm. Knowledge is not the real deal of the whole overall. It's just something that's put there so you can go to and fro chasing it down. And that's what many people do on these platforms. They chase in platforms and messages and videos thinking that they're going to get a closure, something that's going to satisfy them. And let me tell you, 100%, there are millions of YouTubers that's giving your flesh what it needs. This message is for those who need the food for their spirit. And they're going to take this food for the spirit, eat some, and put some in their backpack. This is another thing that I wanted to say. They dropped the ball, but the Spirit of the Most High said, no, we ain't going to claim dropping nothing. They never had it to hold on to. They never taught it from the level of them holding it, having it, teaching it, preaching it, revealing it. I come to understand it today when I was at my lowest, as not the lowest, but at a lowness in me feeling. And I decided to stop to get a bite to eat. And I sat in the car and I was just eating. And the Spirit told me, trust, trust, trust. And in me, I'm trying to grip this word trust, because me, myself, he's the only one I trust in. So I'm trying to really grip this trust. And as I sat there, he began to talk to me about trust and how there are two levels of trust. There is a level of trust in the flesh, and there is a level of trust in Yah, in the spirit. The level of trust in the flesh is resting right here today in 99.9 of individuals. He began to break it down to me first and foremost. And then I began to say, wait a minute, is it that deep? He said, yes, it is. And he wanted me to understand this trust rests two places. Two places. One place it rests in darkness and danger. The other place it rests in spirit and in truth. So I'm like saying two trusts is like everything else. When you had two books that is written, you got two locations for eternal. You brought two separate seeds, one serpent seed, one spiritual seed. You got two born in the flesh, born of the spirit to serve the spirit of Yah, or born in the flesh to serve the flesh of who you are. You got two identical, not identical, separate, that looks as if it's in one. That's the reason why he made sure two trees were in the garden, because he knew that there was two directions of both seeds. the spiritual seed and the serpent seed. Two separate missions. So he want me to understand trust is one of the power punchers that was, is, and shall always be missing. This is why he want us to know people by their spirit, because you knowing them by their flesh, you tend to trust that flesh. But he said, no, Deborah, no. Know them not by the flesh, because there's no trust in the flesh. So he taught me something that was very good for me to know, because now I can use it on my continued journey. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to learn that 99.9 is missing what I'm about to preach on, teach on, minister to, and instill in those book bags that are spiritual. Food for your spirit, this is. Okay? So we're going to, first and foremost, we're going to go into this trust. This trust that the Father has taught me by his spirit, which is quickened. He don't have to teach me a day, a week, a month, a year, year after year after year. No, it's a quickening. His spirit is quickening. So when he gave me that topic, I said, well, I'm going to go live with it. And then it dawned on me, you don't need to. Just put it out there for the spiritual seat to grip it when they have to pass by. So I'm going to go in and teach it for them. First, we want to understand trust. You can trust any and everybody that your flesh desires. Yah is not battling nor wanting Sister Deborah to battle who to trust and who not to trust. But what he wants me to do is put it all out there. And what do we mean? Bring that light out of darkness so they'll know they have never had the sense to trust me. So they too shall know where they stand with me. Teach this, Deborah, in this season and the season to come. Being so, flesh is so content with understanding the flesh. Give this food for the spirit to bring darkness and show flesh who they are. Okay. Now, trust has a feeling of safety. A feeling of safety. You can trust with the assurance of a feeling of being safe. You can trust relying upon. You can trust relying upon. You can also trust putting your weight on. Just putting your weight, meaning your issues, your heartache, your sorrows, your struggles, putting that weight on. This is trust. So let's just show you how you all been living. Okay? Trust is feeling safe. Have you ever thought, who do you feel safe with? Most of you would say you feel safe even when it's not an individual. You feel safe in your homes. You feel safe in the environment of this world. You feel safe. Who do you feel safe around? Let's put it like that. Many of us feel safe around those that we put our trust in. That's our safety. That's our flesh identifying our safety zone. 99.1 trillion means that's your trust. It's who you put your feeling of being safe in. That's who you trust in. Have you put that trust in the Most High Yah? And because you have put that type of trust in the Most High Yah, you feel safe in Him. Think about it. Please don't say you put your trust in Yah. Because putting your trust in Yah is putting your whole self in His safety. Oh, that's something you got probably everybody in the world would say. I trust. But the Father wants you to really think about that today with this message. Who do you put your trust in? Who do you turn to feel safe? Is it the Most High Yah? You don't have to answer it yourself, because flesh is known to lie within itself. It's going to lie day and night. When it's come in the world and when it go out, it's going to still be lying. But the truth be told, your trust is in many of things in this world. To feel safe in a certain environment, in a certain community, in a certain place. To feel safe around certain people. That's where you feel safe. But the Ruach HaKodesh says, can you actually stand on the fact that your trust is in Him to the point that you feel safe in Him? The Father wants me to know you're going to be tried by the fire of these very words. So you can lie to yourself, or you can come out and tell truth. Let's go to trust again. Rely upon. The Father want to know who to rely upon. Really rely upon. He or she that thou trust in? Or do you really rely upon the Most High Yah? Who do you really rely upon? And I have to stop right here because he wants me to cross back over. He say, feeling safe is a form of trust. You all trust more so in yourself as your safety zone. Relying upon self and not the trust in an unseen Yah. He's talking to somebody out there. He said you can freeze the lie because it's going to melt in the days to come. Trust can most of the time, 99.9, are considering at times the flesh of yourself. Your feeling of safety and being safe. Many people feel safe with themselves. Many people feel a safe zone with others that they feel can protect them. Men think that their safety zone are themselves, or friends, or even their wives. Wife's safe zone is their husband, their brothers, their fathers, their uncles. Everybody feels safe in the way of the flesh. That means there's two trust, and you're falling under the trust that is not detached to Yah. I know it. You've been making a fool out of yourself all these years. He gave you many, many years to come to the forefront, but you got too much of yourself on the front line, as if you yourself can keep yourself safe. And when you're not thinking you can keep yourself safe, you think others you feel can keep you safe. Some people think they dogs can keep them safe because they think if they bark. If you're looking for dogs to keep you safe, I don't care what kind they are. They are not your safety keeper. You just a fool. Okay? Now, when you come to the point where relying upon, trust is relying upon, just as trust is feeling safe. Trust is a form of relying upon. Who do you rely upon? I can sit as a prophet in the wilderness. If I had to answer that to the Father in the wilderness, I would tell them they rely on a system in the world, Father, and they rely on their own self-understanding, which is your own flesh. This is a power puncher. And like I say, the same way you came in, if you can slide on out, because you ain't going to handle this message. Okay? So people are relying upon themselves or their other half. They're relying upon their jobs, their bank account, their family, their friends. And the Father wants me to tell you, He has no detachment to you. Because when you rely upon the flesh of men and women, you don't have the trust that He holds trust in. When you feel safe with your guns, with your homes, with your alarm in your house, with your dogs, with your wife, your husband, your brother, your father, your just got everything on the outside of the flesh. You rely upon it. Cameras all over your house on the outside. Because your true trust is what you trust in. So trust in what they have more than they trust in the one that they should trust in. They feel safe around the zone of what I have. I'm okay. Something happened, I'm okay. I got this, 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 I got this. I'm safe. I'm good. That's a form of trust for the flesh. The Father's sending a message out there to you all that in this day, you should be able to identify your eternal destiny. These messages that I'm pouring out are messages to identify, bring light to who you are so you'll know which side you stand on. Do I stand on the dark or do I stand on the light? It's easy, plainly seen. Everything is so out in the opening. That's why everybody is doing all wicked and evil. Because they putting it all out in the opening, because that's the mindset of people. They don't care. When the Father want to give you something, a little something, so you'll be able to understand, are you really on which side, the dark or the light? If your trust in is put in everything you got, everything you have, everybody around you to be your safe zone, your feelings are caught up in the safety of those that you feel can protect you. You rely upon everything on the outside of your flesh and still calling yourself having the Ruach HaKodesh. The only thing, entity that all trust must be handed over to. So you see how long you've been lying? Even to this very day, August the 3rd. Nothing better to do but to put your trust in self and your surroundings. What you have, what you got, what you're getting. That's your trust in that. You're going to learn through these verses that you do not belong to the light. You are not a spiritual seed when you trust in everything on the outside of you. And you never sat down long enough to realize that I'm not really trusting on him that's on the inside. I'm covering everything that I have, I got, I see, I feel safe with, I rely on, everything on the outside, which is in the world. But I rely and trust and do not feel safe on the one that I run around here saying that's on the inside. He said, you should be able to identify yourself even with this very message. Who are you? And why are you in a zone of pretending and hypocrite, cunning, crafty? Because the world can't see who you are. But Yah said to me to tell you, he sees you. People put all their weight on one another. All their troubles and all their burdens, all their issues on one another. These are people that does not have the Ruach HaKodesh. Because putting your weight on the things of the world or the things or your flesh and the things that's in the world. You put all your weight there. And don't put your weight on Yah. Why? Because you have no trust that he can carry. Only, Father, I will say this. I have learned down here the only way people put their weight in their feelings and they're relying upon you, Father Yah, in the day of pain and sickness. And I say, Father, I'm sorry. I thank you for this message, but at the same time, I'm sorry. Because that seems like the only time the flesh want you to feel, for they can feel safe when you're healing them, when you're delivering them, or when you're giving them the things for their flesh and their desires to have things outside of them. Then they can trust in you. They can trust in you when they can rely on you to heal them and deliver them, Father. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry because these are sorry creation that never was created to be anything outside of sorry. Putting your weight on Yah. It's like putting your burdens, every issue that you can't carry, you can put that on him. At the same time, you're carrying it as if you can make a difference in it. So you're really not doing what? Trusting him enough to carry the weight. You think the weight is carried when you pick up a book and read it, when you go down on your knees and hoop and holler and pray to your own self, because you ain't praying in the spirit. You make that the weight that you want to put upon Yah. But the Father says, how dare you put your weight? How dare you feel you need safety? How dare you rely upon me? Only in darkest hour do you call on, and I will and shall not hear. People, you've been carrying your own trust. Trust came down like two different seeds, the serpent seed and the spiritual seed. The one that's born of the flesh and the one that's born of the spirit. The one that loves darkness and the one that loves light. You came down here, y'all, like this. So let's get into the study. So let's go to Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5 through 6. Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. I didn't put the other one, did I? Let me go there. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 through 6. Proverbs chapter 3, we're going to go with verse 5. Trust in Yah with thy heart, and lean not until thy own understanding. That means your own. Get flesh out of the way. You can't allow your flesh to share in the trust that you have in Yah. That's what Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 is telling you. Trust in Yah with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy flesh. Your own understanding, mean your own fleshly mindset in the situation of this living. Trust in Yah and not in your own understanding of your flesh. Yah sat there and gave y'all two right there. Trusting in Yah with all your heart, clamp, and lean not. Don't even lean to your flesh. And understanding the trust that thou art giving all your heart to Yah in. Trust in Yah with all your heart. Clamp. And don't go running to that flesh. Leaning to its understanding. Because now, when that flesh starts to understand its own understanding, it is not going to trust in Yah. That's what I just broke down to Yah. The flesh cannot play a role in this word trust. You either trust Yah or trust in your own flesh and get your tail somewhere and sit down. And this is what Proverbs 3 and verse 5 says. But if you trust in Yah, hold up. Verse 6 says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. You got to acknowledge that, hey, I put my trust in you and not my own understanding, Father. Hey, cut up and cut out. I'm trusting in you with all of who I am in this flesh. I'm trusting in you. Verse 6 said, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Acknowledge him by not leading to your own fleshly understanding, but trusting in him. See, people, you all have lived all these years, and he has suffered you too on that grace and that mercy. I'm going to say on that mercy. And with that being said, you feel no reason to trust in him. Everything that he has given you all, and you still can't find room to trust in him to even keep you in what he has given you. Your trust in your flesh flipped over to the flesh, and you now trust in what you have and how you're going to keep it and how you're going to make it with it, how you're going to live through it, because you flipped it already. You took it out of the hand of he that gave it to you. And a lot of you got testimonies, but you took it and you flipped it out of trusting him to be the one that's going to keep it, and you turned it into your own trust. So that's what Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 says. And lead not unto thy own understanding. We tend to trust Yah when we want something, and we want him to work things for us, and we want him to give us and pay attention to us and care for us. But the moment he take you and put you in that realm of those things, you now feel, hey, I can hold it up now myself. I don't need to trust you. I got this. I got this, Father Yah. 99.9 begin to start trusting in what they now have. The Father sending a message through his prophet. Let your trust be on the left, or let your trust be on the right. Because these two trusts are totally the opposite. One is for the flesh and one is for the spirit. Okay? So now I go to Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus said Yah, cursed be the man, Deborah, that trusteth in man. He's letting you know you are a cursed individual when you trust in yourself and other flesh. Woo! I already knew that, but I'm just saying. Tell him, Father. Jeremiah is a prophet of the Most High Yah. Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. He whooping somebody right now. Thus said the Most High, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. That means when you trust in yourself. And a lot of people do. 99.9. They trust in themselves, what they have, what they got, what they gonna get. They put all the trust in themselves. and make flesh his arm, and whose heart depart from the Most High Yah. See, I just told y'all that. That's what happened. That is identical to what the reality of living in this world is. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said Yah, cursed be the man that trusts in man. You're cursed when you trust in yourself and you trust in others. Because Yah is saying, when it comes down to the Ruach HaKodesh, if you got the sense enough to understand, you must trust in He that's greater in you than you yourself and everything you got on the outside. How you like me now? You see? You see how people can get caught up in self, but they don't understand you actually identify you and your eternal destiny. I like that. I like that the Father took out time to share with me the level of trust, because that trust also tell you your eternal. It tells you who you trust in on the earth is who you trust in eternal. That means if you get in this earth and you trust in the flesh, making sure you have the best life on the earth, and you trust in yourself, then therefore know that there's nothing in the spirit of Yah that you have any trust for, because you turned your trust into trusting yourself, which is flesh, first and foremost, and then everybody on the outside of your flesh that you feel safe with, that you feel rely on, or that you feel can carry your weight. Somebody ain't who they say they are. Somebody ain't who they say they are. Okay. So here in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5, God said the Most High Yah, Deborah be the man that trusteth in him in man, and make it flesh his arm. Because arm is where your strength, where you hold things. You feel in your flesh, you can hold everything. I don't care what issue comes on, I got this. The weight is on me. If it ain't on me, it's my other half, or my dad, my mom, or it's my coworker, my boss, my friends, or my husband, or my wife, or my children got me. All of them can have you. Y'all don't want you. Because if your trust is not leaning to him to carry you, it's just like the footprints. Everybody got it either in their Bible, in a book, on their wall, on a picture frame, the footprints. And until you understand, this is trust. This is trust. The footprints has to do with trust. All your weight, all your troubles, all your safety, who you rely on, all your pain, your struggles, 2 footprints was the Spirit of Yah carrying you all the way. That's trust. And he says here, and make flesh his arm. You think that your flesh can carry all the weight. So you trust in your flesh to carry the weight of living, the weight of trouble, the weight of safety, the weight of relying on individuals. You got to let Yah be the one you trust in and him only. And listen to what he says. He says here, whose heart depart from the Most High Yah. So when you put all that trust in yourself and in man, you're putting everything away from Yah. You really turning in your keys, saying, I'm going to trust in that left and not in that right. So let's go to Psalms 146 and verse 3. Let's go to Psalms 146 and verse 3. And it reads, put not your trust in princes, nor in the sons of men. Males. Put not your trust. Psalms 146 verse 3. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the sons of man, in whom there is no help. Praise the mighty Yah. David, you telling it, ain't it? David is actually letting you know. Don't go around here trusting the flesh. I don't care who they are, to you, with you, for you, in you, or whatever. Don't put trust in them. Now, you trust Yah and let Yah trust set the pace for everything. But when you let Yah get out the way and you feel you want the world, which is your flesh, you want everything on the outside to be greater than who he is on the inside. Either he's your trust or you and your flesh in your surrounding is your trust. Then therefore the Father want me to let you know. You should know where you stand with him at this moment. He is not in you. When your trust is you. Flesh. And everything from the government system, from the government, everything is your trust. You're trusting in them. This is why the rug is going to be poured out. This is why he said we're going to be tried by the fire. For this very message right here. Why are we being tried by the fire? What is your purpose for in this day, Father Yah, we be tried by the fire? It's because a lot of people are running around playing that they are the light, that they are spirit and truth. This is the fire, the word that's coming out of the darkness that many of you all are going to be tried by. Truth. You're going to be tried by the truth. The truth of what? Who is really trusting in Yah and who is really trusting in themselves and what they have and everybody around them. Who is really trusting? The reason why I like this message and it really blesses me, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. It really blesses me because my cry always is to the Father. Why are people portrayed? Why are people living hypocrite? Or living like a hypocrite? Why are people finding time in such a critical time as this, where you're you bringing out the light, so that people don't have to stay in stupidity and in darkness, and they still love the darkness better than they love the light. That's why they trust in what they have, what they got, what they getting, what's coming, but no one's trusting in the Most High Yah. And I understand why I'm blessed, because I trust in him. And I trust that even the very words in which I am speaking today is much power. It is the fire that he's going to try your bad butt by. And he tells you in Psalms 146 verse 3. Why are you putting your trust in princes, nor in men, the sons of men, in whom no help? What's this here about no help, Father? It's because Deborah, the things that is set for tribulation right in front of their faces, they're not going to have any help. They're going to run to and fro to those that they put their trust in. And Deborah, they didn't put some of their trust here and some of their trust here. They put all their trust. That means their heart. and all the things of the world, even their own understanding, which is their own flesh, into the safety of who they think can keep them. That's where their trust is. The Father wants me to let you know, he told you over and over and over, even in your own study guide, that these days that is before us is where we're going to be tried by the fire. And being tried by the fire is going to make you get somewhere and sit down and go on the left where you belong, or go on the right and where you belong. That's the purpose of the fire, trying you. Because he's letting you know you ain't getting away with nothing, because I'm letting my servant bring light to show you. You know, you should know what side you on by now. You ain't getting away with nothing. Okay. So here in Psalms 118, in Psalms 118, verse 8 and 9. In Psalms 118, verse 8 and 9, verse 8 says, it is better to trust in Yah than to put confidence in flesh, man. These, and I said to the Father, why are these things coming out in the light for trust? It's because too many people are playing the game. And that's why it's important that many of you find yourself a place where you can live in trusting yourself. Because these messages is too like the fire. Okay? This messages that Sister Deborah are bringing forth is to light fire under you, so you can be tried by the fire. And when you're tried by the fire, guess what? You're going to go straight into two gates, the broad or the narrow. When y'all try us by fire, you're going to go directly, and it ain't going to be blinking eyes or waiting to this length of time. People going to start going strictly in where they were already at. They were already there in the broad gate. And being tried by the fire, which is the heat that brings that out of you, what gate you was already in. You see? So here in Psalms 118, verse 8 and 9, it is better to trust in Yah than to put confidence in man. So he's telling you the tools. He said there's man you can trust in, which is confident, or you can trust in Yah. You can be confident in Yah, or you can be confident in man. He wants you to know that you're not pulling the wool over his head. He already know you're eternal. He know what you're going to be today and who you're going to be tomorrow. He know you're coming in and how you're going to come out. It is said, in the end, that which is in the light shall come. That which is in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. Why? Because everybody got to be tried by the Lord. And this is a message that tries every human being on this earth, to let them know this day, August the 3rd, 2026, who said, have you been on all the time? Okay. So he says here in verse 9, Psalms 18 and verse 9, it is better to trust in Yah than to put confidence in princes. There go men again. Women can't seem to not put their full trust in men. They can't stand being in the bed alone. They can't stand not eating alone, being alone. And putting your trust in Yah don't mean be alone. But they have reasons of why they want to put their trust in a fleshly man than a God, which is Yah, that created man himself. They don't want it. They want to lay in the bed, touch them, eat with them, sleep with them, feel them. They put all trust and safety They rely on them. They put all their burdens and their weight upon them because the Father say they can't even help them, Deborah. I know they do, Father, but they not. Because why you don't know it? Let me tell you why you don't. Because you think you got the game and gone. You all are like that. You feel, hey, I got this game and I'm gone. Because people feel if they can deceive and use deception toward one another and with one another and all the surrounding around them, they're going to be, I'm good. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But the Father brought to me today this word trust. And he knew already who he can trust to bring this message out. Hello. Not because I'm so trustworthy. He trusts himself in me to bring of me a message to try each and every last one of you all by the fire. See, he's not trusting me in the flesh. He's trusting himself that resides in me to speak to me to show you who you are. Because you already been tried. The kingdom didn't have two books there for the books to be void. He didn't put two trees down there for the trees not to be one going here and one going here. There, you see how sick the people are? They think everything that Yah has done is a game for them. And they use cunning and craftiness and what's this other stuff they deception, hypocrite. They use all kind of tools of the world, of the darkness, to be able to survive even to this very day. A lot of people have a lot of their family members, friends, co-workers, their wife believe in them, their children believe in them, their husband believe in them, their neighbors believe in they are the people of Yah, or they're not the people of Yah, but they are spiritual type people, and they're not. And Yah said that's why he saved the best for last. They had no idea what the end was. He saved the best for last so he can get his best to come and speak spirit and truth to let you all know. He already know what side you on. He's going to try you by the fire and see. Not himself, but to show you yourself. Okay, so then I get into Michael, chapter 7 and verse 5. I get into Michael, chapter 7 and verse 5. And we're going to go all the way down to verse 7. So let's go there. Michael, chapter 7 and verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend. Ye not confidence in a God. You hear that AI? GPT or whatever that other thing? Lexus, Google. All these things you all have put so much trust in. And Yah wants me to let you know, you can keep trusting in them. If they've been that good for you, let them continue to be even better. Because the trust that you have in all these things is the trust of the flesh. Therefore, this is another reason why a lot of people don't know if the Holy Spirit is in them. The Holy Spirit is in you because he trusts where he had assigned himself to be right in this very hour. See, he ain't trusting in the flesh. He ain't trusting in Sister Deborah. He trusting in himself. You see? So here, people really believe that they can just play the game. And you can. The game is yours. Play it. Play it for all it's worth. Because that's what tribulation is for. Those who playing like they in and they know they out. Tribulation is going to let you know really where you stand, because that's where you're going to be tried. And we already entered into tribulation. You're going to be tried right here by the fire. See, he ain't taking you nowhere. That's why everybody going all the way to tribulation. He ain't taking you nowhere. He finna show you who you always been. Oh, you can fool everybody on YouTube. You can fool everybody at home. All your neighbors and your church, your place of worship, your family. You can fool everybody you want. But y'all said your tail is already being tried by the fire. This message is alone. It's to try your butt by the fire. So in Micah, it says, chapter 7, verse 5, trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence, which is trust, in a God. So you see all the AI and everybody grabbing their phone for everything. Wants to know this, did. If your phone, when they cut out all the phones and everything, people ain't going to know how to get from their house to their parents' house. People are not going to know how to get to anywhere because they so used to using the phone that they can't even function. And that's the whole idea, is to make sure you be as stupid can be come that time you realize, hey, I'm in tribulation. It's too late. Okay. So you see how your trust is in the materialistic things, the electronics, the system, all these platforms. Your trust is all the wrong places. But y'all say, leave them there. That's what tribulation is for. See, people never think that, wait a minute, why do we have to have a tribulation? Because it's going to identify everybody right on the earth. So they don't have to worry about coming up there for judgment. It's going to identify who you are right here and now. And then it says, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Keep thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Why? Because you're running your mouth while you're laying up with somebody, because you're lying down with them. You think you can put all your trust in them because you laying with them and they laying with you. Oh, I can trust them because this is my life partner, my sexual partner, my wife or my husband or my fiance or my whatever. He's letting you know. Listen to what he says. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in your bosom. Vice versa though, male as well as female. But letting you know, your mouth, because everything you have is not for her. Everything she has is not for you. How do it makes it for both of you all? If both of you all have the Holy Spirit. Y'all just full of lies. And you don't know which way you want to lie. Okay. Verse 6. For the son dishonor. And this is what really got me, because I look at Michael and I sit in chapter 7 and verse 6. And I sit here and I hear this. And this is where the whole world of women and sons and daughters and mothers and fathers still ain't gripped it. It goes right back to why tribulation and perilous times in men's heart must fail them. It's because you all been living in your own little world and calling it your all in all. So Yah is putting something there to break down each and every last one of us so we can see right here on the earth who we serve, really who we stand for. It's going to be just like the Garden of Eden, 2 trees. Everybody gonna go to the tree that's best identify who they are, not just in the flesh, but who they are in the spirit. Okay. That's what tribulation is going to pull up. It's going to allow you to be tried by the fire so you can run straight into the direction to the left or to the right in which you serve. Okay. That's why it's there. I know y'all didn't know that, but you know it now. It ain't my job what you do with it. Go somewhere and sit down. I could care less. Okay. So in verse 6, it says, for the son dishonored the father. Now, see, they don't understand that. How can sons dishonor the father if the father ain't never been there? This showing you the protocol of how messed up it is on the earth. Because something was told that the father and son will be against each other, but you don't see very much of it because the father ain't being where they're supposed to be. So this right here is showing you they all out of whack. Everybody somewhere they ain't got no business being. Meaning they're walking, they're living in darkness when you should have been in light, because he left a lot of direction for you to do it this way, this way, this way, this way. And these crazy Hebrew Israelite movement and these men all out here, ain't none of them following the protocol of the book in which they say is the word, and that they go by the book. You don't know. The Father have taught me so much about the KJV, the 1611. All of it is instructions and direction to kind of give your flesh a way to least balance until the light come and set your tail on fire. That's the Ruach HaKodesh. And when that come, it fulfill everything in you. They ain't looking for no Ruach HaKodesh. They taking the words in books and making it the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of the Most High is like fire caught up in your bones. It's not a book. Now one of them can identify that fire. I can. I've felt it too many times in my life. Like I don't even have enough fingers to count. Even if I add my toes, I don't have enough to count how many times I have been able to feel that fire. It's a good feeling. You see? They don't know that. They and take a book and beat you across the head and say, but the word said it. The word said that. But also the word tell you to put your trust in no man. Where is your trust, bro? Your trust is in these books, in these cult leaders, in these pastors, these priests, these bishops, these evangelists, these prophets, these prophetess, these Moris, these seers, these watchmen. Put your trust somewhere and sit down with you. These type of trust that you have in all this stuff is not detached to my Most High Yah. So you can sit down. Many of you all going to be found on the left side where you should have been found from the beginning anyway. Okay. And then it says in verse 6, Michael chapter 7, verse 6, for the son shall dishonor the father. That's about right. The daughter rises. The daughter rises. Why? Because they're adults. They rise, and look at the word, against her mother. And watch this here. Watch this here. The daughter-in-law rises up. It don't say rise up, but it says against her mother-in-law. Why is that? Why? When y'all have a protocol, flesh on this earth move every protocol that heavens has orchestrated. The protocol that man and woman in Genesis have dominion and rulership of the earth. They took it out. Who took it out? Man. Well, this is what you see in the world today. Man still ruling it, and y'all ain't busting the move because they done ruled it and got it right in the order in which he saw from the kingdom before the foundation of the world. That's why he ain't busting no move. And another thing, I sit here and I say, it says son dishonor the father, but what about the son-in-law dishonoring the father-in-law? I don't see that. This is where, men can put whatever they want in there. They can add it, they can smear it, they can take it away. But when I see father, the daughter rising up against her mother. Why is this word rising? Because they get to be an adult, and now they against the mother. Why she rise against the mother? Because now she's an adult. She sees things different than her mother. Because the order and protocol from the kingdom, like it was in Genesis, the book of Genesis 26, 27, 28, he called them. Them have dominion, have rulership. But man came in the next chapter, and her dominion and her rulership from when Yah gave it to it. Let me give you another. After he ended the world, the rainbow stood for something. Look what the world have taken the rainbow. And everywhere you go, you don't want to ride nothing rainbow because what? It represents what? The darkness, the wicked, and evil that Yah has always been against. Homosexual. They took the rainbow and made. You all don't really get it, do you? I know you don't, but it's okay. My purpose on this earth is to bring light out of darkness, not to play with you. I'm not here to play with you and your feelings and your emotion. That's flesh. Go on somewhere and sit down with that. That's not what I'm here for. Okay, that's why I say going on out any door you can find. So here it's saying that the daughter going to rise up against mother and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. The reason why the Most High was able to break down to me about the daughter-in-law, and it's not saying the son-in-law, because the daughter-in-law is always trying to get all the love, as they call it, from the son, especially a son that loves his mother. Daughter-in-law can't stand that. I know y'all don't understand that, and it ain't meant for you to understand it. Let me break it down to you. Even though if I break it down, you ain't gonna get it anyway, so it don't matter. I'm right here. What you doing there? Breaking down the two trust. And if you already on the left side of trust, you don't supposed to be on this page no way. How about that? How you like me now? So when he was explaining to me about the daughter-in-law, because I asked him, I said, I had known her for 5 years. And I was like saying, what is this with the daughter-in-law? Can you explain it? Can you explain it? For I want to know why the daughter-in-law gonna be against the mother-in-law. What is the battle? He explained this about 2 years ago. He said that the daughter-in-law is fighting for what the mother already has with the son. The daughter-in-law will be fighting for what the mother already has. When the daughter-in-law come in, she wants it all. She wants not only what he have with his mother. If he have anything with his father, she want that. She want it all to be applied to her. Okay? So the only way she can get it all is to battle with the mother. So the son will show her and pick sides between him and his mother. See, the men and male sons don't be caught up in all of that. They don't grip what's actually going on. The way I counsel my son and his wife now, I set up 2 hours of marriage counseling. And we had such a good time. I was able to prophesy to her that there's something, a habit you even pulled out of your own house that you're going to bring into this marriage. You need to deal with that. You don't have to not get married, but that's something you're going to have to deal with. And the look on her face was like, oh, she know. Oh, she know. I didn't let that bother us. We had a good time. But what I did explain to my daughter-in-law when I was counseling them, because my son wouldn't have had it no other way, but they get a marriage counseling, not from her grandfathers, both of them are pastor, but from me. And I like that honor of me being his mother, that he told her, no, we going to my mother, because my mother knows spirit and truth. She knows it a different way than your grandparents now in churches. Okay. So we had 2 hours. We had a good time. And one of the time was me explaining to her. Now, y'all hear me out here. Hear me. Me explaining to her, the daughter-in-law, me explaining to her as the world called love. Let's stand under that. They locked it in as a feeling of care, emotions, and really feeling someone and caring a lot about someone. I want you to know, if you have a pet, you're going to love that pet. If you have a mother, you're going to love that mother. You're going to love that father. You know, if you have a husband, you're going to love that husband. You're going to love those children. There's no such thing only loving me. But that's how daughter-in-laws are. Especially when a young man or a man has a lot of care for his mother. Darkness going to always come in against any man that has a lot of care for his mother. Even the man himself is not going to have sense enough to see what his wife is doing. So that's why the father is wanting us to understand why the mother and the daughter and the daughter-in-law, the mother and the daughter against one another, and why the daughter-in-law is involved and not the son-in-law. It's because the daughter-in-law coming in, battling, wanting to be family in the way of her family. Now that's what's the battle with me. The ideal of I knowing that her whole family is surrounding with the spirit of it's a spirit of debating, a spirit of what is it when people are constantly battling one another for who's better than the other. So she's going into this here marriage with that spirit of who's stronger than one another, who's better than one another. I can do this better than you. I can do this better than you. I'm better at this than you. I'm better at this than you. This is what she's bringing into the marriage, and she has. And she has. Now, most young men, or you don't even have to be young, most men don't pay any attention to all of that. They just so anxious to get into something that a lot of them don't know what they're getting into, but that's on them because they had a good marriage counselor that broke all that down. Because I told her, don't be off competing. That's what I told them. I said, now, I told her, I said, I noticed that you need to stop trying to compete against Joseph. Joseph was never brought up in a household where there's competition and competing with one another. And all those siblings he had, it wasn't about competition of I'm better than you and you better than me and I'm doing this shit. But that's who she is. You can't even take that out of her. So I was explaining to her, you need to stop trying to compete against him. He's a man. You's a woman. He has a different strength than you have. The way he function is different than you. The way he do things is different than you. So you cannot take on a marriage where you're constantly competing against what he's capable of doing. He's a man. He do things different than a woman. So you can't go in this marriage. That's something you need to do away with, but you can't tell them nothing. They want to get married and they figured it, can't nobody tell them and they want to, you can go and get married. But I'm glad I did put that out there because that is her issue. She wants the power and the full control. Something she said, and the spirit of the Most High let me see everything. And I heard this one man teach on the chosen special ones of Yah. He broke that thing down. I mean, he broke it down. And didn't he not nail me? 100%. He said that we are the ones that we don't just take things. We look into things and we see it for what it is. And we dissect it all the way down as far as it can go. That's me. I try to have, and with me, it's more so trying to get some understanding out of it. So I know what I'm going to deal with from this time on. So I like to put that out there. So in Michael chapter 7, verse 6, he's talking here. Now listen to what he says. Michael chapter 7, verse 6, he said, for the son dishonored the father, and the daughter rise up against the mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother. So the mother got two against her. No matter which corner she turned, daughter and daughter-in-law. Okay? Now watch this here. Law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. And until these men are not going to own that, because the men don't ever be in their house. They don't be about the house in which Yah want us to understand what the house is supposed to be about. Because in that house, you got two different kind of seeds. And if that man's seed is not the spiritual seed, then he ain't going to train up no seed to do what's right. They ain't going to bring Yah into their household. If the man do not train up the seeds in his household in the way that they should go, the seeds are just all over the place. They're going to be competing against each other. They're going to be hating one another. Everybody in the household. But he's letting you know, in a man's house, the enemies are the men of his house. Okay? So it's verse 7. Therefore I will took unto, oh no, I must have did that wrong. Oh, I hate that. I have to go way back here. Hold up, you guys. Now, okay, here it is. Verse 7, Michael chapter 7 and verse 7. And it reads, Therefore, I will look unto Yah, and I will wait for Yah of my salvation. My Yah will hear me. So he's saying, in spite of enemies in a man's house, in spite of the son dishonoring the father, the daughter rising up against the mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, when it all said and done, the enemy of a man's house, a man's enemy are the men of his house. Listen to what he says. For therefore, I will look unto Yah. He letting you know, whoever in your household, trust in Yah. I don't care if you got 2 serpent seeds, 2 spiritual seeds, 4 serpent seeds, 1 spiritual seed, 5 spiritual seeds, 1 serpent seed. No matter what you got, it's telling you, put your trust. It says, I will wait for the Most High Yah of my what? Salvation. My Yah will hear me. Putting your trust, no matter what chaos in the household, put your trust, let them put their trust in each other, but put your trust in the Most High Yah. 99.9 ain't done that today, nor will they. They trust is going to ride all up in and up out and all around to the tip of tribulation. Even throughout the pain and suffering of the body, they still going to be holding on to their trust in themselves and what they have, what they got, what they constantly getting. They ain't going to still trust in Yah, because the trust is already branded. Either you trust in Yah or you trust in yourself and everything on the outside. Okay? So now I'm in Psalms. Where am I at? I'm almost done. Psalms chapter 40, verse 3 and 4. In Psalms chapter 40, verse 3 and 4. Psalms chapter 40, verse 3 and 4. And he has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our Yah. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in Yah. Okay, here's an individual that Yah has blessed them in song. He have put his anointed in their voice, in their mouth. Okay, and they sing these new songs, and they new songs because at first when they used to sing either to the world or just singing just to be singing. But now, since Yah's anointing has been put into their mouths, is now they sing praise unto Yah. Now watch this here. While they're singing praise unto Yah, many shall see it, hear and fear, and shall trust in Yah. This is the example I explained to you all, who's who and what's what. You can go into a place of worship and you can hear the most beautiful song. That song can be only dedicated to your flesh. That's it. That's it. There are all the gospel music and all the music that's out. It does something to your flesh. But this one here is letting you know, when the new song, which is the anointed song of the Most High Yah, now is in their mouth because it's in him or in them. Watch this here. Even praise unto Yah. The mouth praise Yah. No, people. Music is supposed to praise Yah. It's not supposed to praise you, but to praise Yah. You all don't understand. You've been serving the flesh. You've been trusting the flesh. No one trusts that music was never created out of anointing for your flesh. Hear me out. It gives the flesh something. Hear me out. But the music, the anointing that Yah anoint individuals to have that gift of songs, it is to be sung to do what? To praise the Most High Yah. And once it praise the Most High Yah, what Yah do? He send blessings down to people who are hearing it, seeing it. They begin to see the blessing of the Most High Yah. They begin to hear the blessing of the Most High Yah. They begin to fear the blessing of the Most High Yah. But only when music is sung in the fullness of the Spirit anointed, it goes up to the kingdom. The songs go up to the kingdom and the blessings come down. And then what? Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Most High Yah. Because what? When they see the blessing of the Most High Yah come down, they begin to fear and shall trust in Yah. Because they just saw the whole purpose of the gifts of the Most High Yah manifested among them. That's when you trust in Yah to be the one that blesses you with a gift. You sing to him that gave you the blessing. But you all wants to sing to yourself to please your own itchy ear or your own heart and how you feel and how it does to you. A lot of people say, oh, it just did something to me. Oh, it just did it. Yeah, because you're dealing with the flesh. But when that music does go beyond the flesh and hit the spirit, then that song was for Yah. And he's telling you, then you're going to see the blessing. See, people don't believe that, but that's how I see it. Not see it just in the natural, but see it more so in the spirit and in the natural. That's how it's supposed to go. You see? Same thing with speaking in tongues. People think that he ceased tongues. He didn't cease tongues. Once he gave those gifts are there. He's not an Indian giver. Give you the gift and give you the gift to interpret it and then take it away. No, y'all got it wrong. You're lying. That's all you're good for, lying. These gifts of this individual said, and he has put a new song in my mouth. That's that power, y'all. Even praise unto our Yah. People don't even know how to do that no more because they so busy going to these churches and going to these places and getting this gospel music, listening to, and you should see the darkness that's singing gospel. There is so many of them in the dark and they singing gospel music. We have no trust in Yah. None whatsoever. Verse 4, we in Psalms 40. Verse 4, blessed is that man that maketh Yah his trust, and respect not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Blessed is that man that maketh Yah his trust. They're blessed. And then you hear verses telling you those who don't trust in Yah, they cursed. They cursed beyond what kind? Wait a minute, hold up, Father Yah. How did they get cursed? They was cursed from the kingdom. So I'm telling you, Yah, you're gonna be tried by the fire. This is where we at today. We're already up in tribulation. Okay, it's just that it haven't hit you yet. And like I say, it don't have to hit me, but Yah allow me to see it. That's more than enough. So I don't have no reason to deny that these things are actually out here and the things are going on that's actually going on. I don't have no room to deny it. But what is that? That's my fire. That's me being tried by the fire. See, it's letting you know. You see it? Can you see it, Deborah? Yeah, I see it. But Father, they doing it. Oh, Father, why are they doing it? See, I'm being tried by the fire. Yeah, see? I don't have to be tried by it like you because I have the Holy Spirit. Do you? You see? So in Galatians chapter 5, this is my last verse. In Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. Right there, he wants me to show you why you can't trust your flesh over trusting Yah. Because anybody trusts flesh, that's who you are. You're born to trust your flesh. Anybody that trusts the spirit of Yah, you're born to walk with the spirit of Yah. See, y'all thought that you can come in here and do it your flesh way. And that's what people do. They only do things according to their flesh. and they call it spirit. They can call it whatever they want. The fire is going to try your tail about everything you said you believe or you know or you tried or you know, you're going to be tried by that fire. Okay. So in Galatians chapter 17, Galatians chapter 5 and verse 17, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. These, now let me read that. Let me say it. These are contrary one to another. So you see how you either going to trust in the spirit, if you are of the spirit, or you going to even trust in the flesh. Now just imagine each one of you all. That is like being tried by the fire. Because a lot of you all is a lot of them is on the fence, trying to ride both sides. But most of you are on the side of the flesh and don't have no problem. I'm on this side. I'm gonna stay on this side. Or if you want to get that bad, then I switch over. Oh no, baby. The side you on today is the side you're gonna be on tomorrow. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. Because I'm grateful, servant of the Most High Yah, to serve the Father in the light, to bring dark down to the lowest, that light may come out as the highest, because it is higher than darkness. So Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. Even if you didn't, well, I know that I did. Shalom and shalom.